Hello everybody, we are waiting for Dr. Serkan. Thank you for joining us. Ciao a tutti ragazzi, grazie per partecipare a questa live con il Dr. Serkan Aygin. Incominceremo a breve. Hi, saluti a tutti ragazzi. Salve a tutti ragazzi, stiamo aspettando il dottore, fra poco arriverà. Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Grazie Milena per il complimento, stiamo aspettando il dottore. Hola amigo desde España, saludos desde México. Grazie ragazzi per i complimenti, thank you for your compliment. Hello Serkan. We are waiting for the doctor, a few seconds yet. Grazie a tutte le persone che hanno deciso di partecipare, ancora qualche secondo d'attesa. Hello to all our friends from Turkey. I hope the things are going a little better in your country. Saluti a tutti gli amici che ci seguono dall'Italia, sappiamo che la situazione sta migliorando progressivamente, quindi speriamo che presto si possa ricominciare a viaggiare tutti assieme. Attendiamo ancora qualche minuto che si colleghi il dottore e cominceremo con questa nuova diretta. E pochi secondi e dovremmo avere il dottore. Hello, Dr. Serkan.
Hello, hola, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, how are you? Thank you for your time and this opportunity.
Okay, thank you for your this kind of invitation.
See, let's start with some questions we have from our forum members.
Okay.
We know that the COVID-19 emergency hit the air transplant world very hard. So when will you reopen the clinic and what protocols have you adopted to deal with the emergency and ensure patient safety?
I have a good news. We opened the doors of clinic 2 weeks ago and started to perform our operations. Naturally, we have only local patients for now. As far as I know, German patients will be starting to come in the middle of June. We have a lot of patients, German patients, who have scheduled their appointments in June and upcoming months.
Okay.
I believe that we will be accepting from other European countries, patients from other European countries, starting by mid-July.
Mid-July, okay.
Yeah, the condition in Turkey is, of course, better than Italy, you know. The number of cases associated with this pandemic in Turkey is better than expected, thanks God. For this reason, psychological and social recovery has started faster in Turkey. We started to perform hair transplantation for our patients living in Turkey, and I think is very good indicator of this recovery, social recovery. Actually, what we have been going through for last 2 months is a good reflection of how strong the infrastructure of Turkey's general health system and healthcare facilities are. I don't know if you agree with me, but I think that the whole world is witnessing how disciplined the healthcare providers in Turkey are working. And as a doctor in this country, I'm proud of this. I'm proud of this. I believe this aspect will pave the way for our foreign patients to maintain a positive perspective towards Turkish clinics. So life will continue in one way or another. Everyone will need to consult a healthcare facility for different health problems. For example, I had to go at a dental clinic 10 days ago, and I had a minor surgery in my mouth, and I was convinced that my dentist friend had taken all necessary safety precautions before this surgery. And I had my first coronavirus test in this dental clinic.
Okay.
Soon everyone will start to go to work, and everyone will engage in the public life. Life will start. The most important aspect is to create a safe environment for our patients.
For sure.
Every employee working at our clinic, including our drivers, has taken this coronavirus test, and this test will be taken periodically. This is one of the most important points. First of all, we need to be good. We need to be in good health. We have this local Turkish patients to take PCR tests prior to operations. You know, this test results are obtained within 3 hours. We repeat this test twice to make sure that results are as reliable as possible. So all the patients will be able to take this test 1 day prior to operation. Only 1 day will be enough to take this test. You know, Turkish government announced every person traveling from abroad will be taking this test at the airport upon arrival. Oh. But we will be implementing our own test protocol as if they didn't take any test at the airport.
Okay.
At the clinic, the patients undergo 3 stages: consultation, operation, and post-operative care.
Yeah.
The number of patients in these days will be lower than normal, and we will use this as an advantage. During consultations, during post-operative care, the patient will be able to keep social distancing with other patients. And we will be offering more private and exclusive services. Our clinic also incorporates 2 hotels. You know, for some patients, this is a very big problem. And these hotels offer accommodation service only for our patients. What does it mean? there will be no one at the hotels who has not taken this test, even workers. And we will direct all patients to these hotels, especially during this period. We're also working on taking maximum safety precautions in the hotel rooms and the in dining room service. Our patients who are currently undergoing this operation, you know, they're living in Istanbul and they are returning back to homes after the operation. They're not staying in the clinic, in the center. Patients will be spending the longest time in the operation rooms, and they will be very close to us during the operation time. It takes around 6 to 7 hours, very long time. And therefore, operation rooms require the highest level of safety precautions. You can refer to our social media accounts to have an idea how we operate. How will the technical sterilization of the operation room be carried out? Some clinics in Turkey designed their operation rooms under the sterilization procedures of real surgical operation rooms. We are one of those clinics. Two devices are used for the sterilization of the operation rooms. First device and the HEPA filter system is very important for real surgical rooms. HEPA filter, you know, it traps all microorganisms, all microparticles in an environment. This system works throughout all the operation, and every 2 to 3 minutes intervals, HEPA filters generate a flow of fresh and clean air into the room and purifies all microorganisms. This is a really excellent system we always use, always. And second device, ultraviolet C lamps, we activate them after the operation. These lamps, you know, have a deadly effect for all microorganisms. And when you refer to social media accounts, you can see these devices. And I have a video explaining these devices, you know. And we are preparing ourselves, and we have already patients, and we are preparing for foreign patients.
Okay, perfect. Let me translate just a little quickly for the Italian viewers. You know that they are watching us, so I'm going to make a short translation, ok?
Ok.
Ok, ho chiesto al dottor Serkan come sta affrontando il problema del Covid-19, quando riaprirà la clinica e che protocolli saranno adottati per questa emergenza e per assicurare la sicurezza dei pazienti. Il dottore mi ha dato una buona notizia: la clinica ha riaperto 2 settimane fa solo per i pazienti turchi per il momento. Sperano di poter riaprire per i pazienti tedeschi a metà giugno, mentre da metà luglio dovrebbero poter accedere tutti i pazienti europei. E quello che hanno fatto è, innanzitutto, in Turchia la situazione sta migliorando a livello di Covid-19, tutti stanno tenendo un modo di fare positivo, un'attitudine positiva. E per quanto riguarda le misure che sono state adottate, tutti gli impiegati del dottore, compresi gli autisti, hanno effettuato il test per il Covid-19. Lo stesso viene effettuato ai pazienti. Si pensa che ai pazienti, a tutti coloro che arrivano in Turchia, venga effettuato il test del coronavirus già all'aeroporto, ma per precauzione il dottore lo effettua comunque il giorno prima della chirurgia. Per quanto riguarda le misure per le sale operatorie, il dottore dice di fare riferimento a un video che ha sui social media, ma tecnicamente ci sono due sistemi per garantire la massima sicurezza del paziente. Il primo è la sterilizzazione e il filtraggio dell'aria con un sistema EPA che è in grado, i filtri EPA sono in grado di uccidere e filtrare tutti i virus e tutti i batteri che ci possono essere nella sala operatoria. E il secondo è l'utilizzo di lampade ultraviolette all'interno della sala operatoria che sono in grado di uccidere tutti i batteri. Quindi la sicurezza al dottor Serkan Aygin Clinic è garantita. Ok, thank you very much. So let's go with the second question, doctor. We know that in your clinic you perform air transplant using the DHI technique. What are the advantages of this technique, and are all the patient candidates for this kind of surgery?
First of all, we are currently performing two methods, not only DHI, FUE and DHI, and I give you a number soon and a statistic. For 13 years, we have been applying FUE method. Before that, we used to perform a surgery, FUT method, but for 13 years, for a long time, we have been applying FUE method. We have been applying DHI for last 5 years. 5 years.
Okay.
And now we have been using both methods. And as the end of 2019, total percentage of patients underwent FUE at our clinic is 70%. And when 4 months ago the statistic 4 months ago, 70% of patients underwent FUE, only 30% of patients underwent DHI.
Okay.
DHI. But at our clinic, we have been performing mixed operations a lot. What does it mean? What is the mixed operations? At the same session, where we are using both methods, FUE and DHI. Why? The patients usually have different type of problematic areas. Some patients, you know, they've been lost whole hair almost, or most of hair is really thin, but most of patients have some existing thick hair on their head. And according to the operation plan, we have been performing mixed operation for a long time. I think this information is very important for the patients. Maybe they heard something about our clinic. Maybe their mind are a little bit confused. But 4 months ago, statistics giving again, 70% of patients with FUE, only 30% of patients underwent this operation with DHI. But mixed operations, very common. In the mixed operations, the number of grafts to be transplanted with DHI method is limited.
Okay.
Is limited. For example, we have a plan, operation plan with 4,000 grafts. We check the donor area first. We evaluate the donor area capacity first, and usually I carry out this operation plan. 2,600 grafts will come from the classical donor area, the back of the side of the head, and 400 grafts to 500 grafts will come from the beard. And for example, this operation, 4,000 grafts and 3,400, 3,500 grafts will be implanted by FUE method, and 500-600 grafts are transplanted using DHI method. I define that as a mixed operations. Sometimes at the same session, the number of grafts to be transplanted with DHI reach to up to 1,000 grafts. But this is not a commercial approach. I don't have any commercial concern about such mixed operations. When we use DHI method at the same session, we don't reflect the cost of extra cost of operation to the price of FUE method. This is the good news for the patients. We are trying to increase the operation quality. We are trying to achieve the better result, and we use implanters at the same session, DHI method at the same session, but patients pay on the classical FUE price. You know, DHI prices are a little bit more expensive because of expenses. Implanters are the expensive devices. That's why pure DHI operations are a little bit more expensive, but FUE operations are a little bit cheaper. But when we use implanters during the same operation and we add some graft with DHI method, we don't reflect that to the price. People knows more knowledge about the FUE, especially in Italy. It's interesting for me, and Italian patients are interested in DHI less than other patients from different countries. From Spain, from Germany, especially from Russia. It's very interesting. Patients are interested in DHI.
Okay.
Everybody asks for DHI, but in Spain also much more percentage. But in Italy, people knows much less about DHI. Everybody knows something about FUE. Everybody has some friends that have underwent the operation with FUE. And now, of course, as you ask, I would like to give some explanation about DHI. We don't prefer DHI method for the patients who have Afro type hair. They have very curly hair, and the implants are very rigid devices. Placement of this curly hair with Afro type hair into the implants are very difficult. This device implanter may hurt this hair follicle. That's why, in general, all over the world, the clinics, doctors, they don't recommend to perform DHI for Afro type hair. Apart from this, we can perform DHI method for all patients. For all patients, we can perform DHI method. But personally, as my experience, I don't like performing DHI method for some patients coming from Northern European countries. Some of them have very fine hair even within the donor area, in diameter being around 60 microns. In such cases, I prefer to perform FUE. If the patient's condition is suitable for that, I prefer to perform FUE. Why? At the same logic, this type of hair have very fine hair roots, and implanter have some technicals about such hair follicles.
Okay, thank you very much.
I can briefly compare FUE with DHI method. Due to its diameter being smaller, I think DHI implanters have two technical superiorities. Firstly, it can preserve more the existing thick hair and provide successful operation transplants between the existing thick hair. And this is why we are able to carry out this mixed operations I mentioned earlier. Many patients have some areas where they need to preserve existing thick hair. These are the areas where to prefer to use DHI implanters, even though we apply the FUE method with other areas during the same hair transplant session. We can perform FUE on areas where hair follicles have been completely lost or have been severely thin. We especially use implanters on the female patients with the same logic due to their specific hair loss pattern. We are able to preserve their existing hair. What is the second technical advantage for implanters? We can implant more grafts per centimeter square within narrow problematic areas. Implanters provide more density for the patients who have early stage every A, every B male pattern hair loss. Density in the hair transplantation is related to, you know, some hair and scalp characteristic of the patient. The most important characteristics are the hair shaft diameter, thickness, and structure of the connective tissue in the skin. Patients who have high level of thickness, hair shaft thickness, and dense connective tissue tend to have lower density. An ideal amount of density in a hair transplant is required in around 45 grafts per centimeter square, minimum 45, especially when we carry out this operation for the narrow problematic areas and the early stage of male hair loss pattern. Of course, such patients have higher expectations regarding density, and DHI provides an advantage for these patients, I think. For the more wider areas and it will require more coverage, there will be not any difference between both methods regarding density. FUE or DHI for the wider areas, we have limited number of grafts, they provide the same density. If the areas, the DHI method also incorporates two social advantage. I need to say that. The first one, recovery period is shorter with DHI. Recovery time 4 to 5 days shorter in comparison to FUE. Symptoms that is seen after the operation, such as redness and crusting, disappear faster with DHI. And second, social advantage, the existing hair within the transplant area doesn't require to be shaved. Transplantation can be carried out safely with using implanters in between existing long hair. For women and for the men with long hair, they don't want to shave whole hair. In this case, DHI has some social advantage, you know. All these things I've been explaining may differ for every clinic. Every clinic may have different approaches related to amount of experience as well as the results they receive. We offer our patients a minimum invasive, the maximum efficient, as well as the best operation plans in accordance with the best experience we have accumulated over the years.
Okay, let me translate. Thank you. You gave me a very good answer. I will try to translate very quickly. So, ho chiesto al dottore che presso la sua clinica utilizzano la tecnica DHI o DHI, Direct Hair Implantation. Il dottore mi ha spiegato che la utilizzano specialmente dagli ultimi 5 anni, ma che presso la loro clinica hanno più o meno un 70% di operazioni che sono svolte con la FUE classica e un 30% che sono svolte con la tecnica DHI. Quello che stanno sperimentando soprattutto nell'ultimo periodo è un'operazione mista in cui per esempio abbiamo 4.000 unità follicolari trapiantate, di queste più o meno 3.000 saranno innestate con la FUE tradizionale mentre 1000 con il metodo DHI, quindi con l'implante. La cosa interessante è che queste operazioni miste, in cui a volte si utilizza l'implanter, non comportano un sovrapprezzo per il fatto che durante un'operazione FUE classica si sia utilizzato l'implanter, quindi il paziente pagherà sempre lo stesso prezzo, anche se l'operazione col DHI è effettivamente un po' più cara perché si utilizza appunto lo strumento, l'implante, che ha un costo un po' più elevato. Il dottore mi ha spiegato che la tecnica DHI, mi ha spiegato la mia domanda se tutti i pazienti sono candidati per questa tecnica, mi ha spiegato che non tutti lo sono, in special modo le persone con un tipo di capello afro, quindi con capelli molto ricci, o pazienti provenienti dal nord Europa con un calibro di capello molto fine, inferiore ai 60 o 50 microns. Mi ha spiegato il dottore inoltre che ci sono dei vantaggi per quanto riguarda l'uso del DHI. Il primo è che il DHI funziona molto bene quando si deve lavorare fra i capelli indigeni, quindi fra i capelli nativi, e soprattutto anche in caso di pazienti femminili. E il DHI ha anche dei vantaggi sociali. Il recupero post-operatorio è più rapido, quindi 4-5 giorni più rapido rispetto alla FUE tradizionale per quanto riguarda le croste o il rossore. E un altro vantaggio sociale è che la tecnica DHI con l'implanter si può utilizzare anche con capelli lunghi in area ricevente. Quindi, quando vogliamo avere più densità in un'area ristretta, il DHI ha dei vantaggi rispetto alla FUE tradizionale, il metodo di innesto tradizionale. Quando invece l'area è più estesa e il paziente ha una calvizie avanzata, non c'è particolare differenza fra innestare con la FUE classica o invece con il metodo DHI. Questo è quanto. Ok, perfect. Let's go with the third question. How do you handle a situation where you have very young patients, sometimes with some unrealistic expectation regarding the airline design or something like that, despite the patient is a good candidate? So how do you deal with kind of young and sometimes crazy patient?
Okay. Okay. And then within the recent years, we have seen an increase in the demand for hair transplantation from the patients under the age of 25. We are carrying out more hair transplant procedure on patients between age between 20 to 25. When I receive and look at the photos from such young patients, I always ask myself, what would I do if I were in their position? If my answer is to undergo hair transplant, then I ask myself again, what type of operation plan I should carry out? Patients with this age require more guidance. Some of them, as you said, some of them have very unrealistic hairline design requirements. For young patients, if we make a mistake on the hairline design, they may regret this hairline in upcoming years. It's for young patients, we carry out an operation plan taking into account the possibility of experiencing future hair loss. It's important to calculate the total estimated grafts number and the patients may require in the future and evaluate the availability of the donor area of the patient. Young patients may need to undergo a second session and even a third session based on their hair loss condition and their expectation. We need to convince these patients that we have carried out an efficient operation plan for them and for the future. This is why good preservation of the donor areas as such young patients is so important. So important. We also know that the young patients like to cut their hair very short at the back and side of head, and that's why preservation of the donor area is very, very important. For young patients, additional treatments and medications are very valuable for us and really help us. For example, a patient experiencing early stage B type hair loss pattern and had operation 10 years ago at the age of 21. And it didn't come for the second operation over passing in 10 years since the first session, thanks to regular use of medications. We have a lot of cases like this, more than expected. Such patients have understood the importance of the treatment and follow the regular treatment regimen. They have made this a routine part of their lives, just like brushing teeth. Patient satisfaction levels increases with the maintenance of the treatments. In case of regular treatment, transplanted hair doesn't create a contrast with the existing native hair. But I know everyone cannot follow such a regular regimen, and this is due to the time and also money. If we carry out an efficient operation plan, there will be not any problem for performing next hair transplantation if he or she requires additional operations in the future. There may be some patients who cannot visualize their expectations in their mind, and they may ask for similar examples of former patients from us. We have a vast collection of confirmed former patients' photos. We are able to send the patients the photos of similar cases, similar plans, and similar results. By this way, we can help the patient to visualize their expectations in their mind.
Okay, let me translate again. Ho chiesto al dottore come gestisce la situazione in cui c'è un paziente giovane con delle aspettative che non possono essere, che non sono realistiche, e il dottore mi ha detto che ultimamente si è un po' abbassata anche la media dei pazienti che richiedono un trapianto di capelli. Quello che fa il dottore durante il consulto che esegue personalmente è cercare di mettersi nei panni di questi pazienti di 20-25 anni e chiedersi cosa farei io. La cosa più importante in questi casi è una buona pianificazione a lungo termine e una buona gestione di quella che è l'area donante, quindi un buon donor management. Il dottore ha più volte si è ritrovato con pazienti che si sono operati giovani, ma hanno seguito un percorso terapeutico, farmacologico durante gli anni, e questo ha permesso che anche dopo 8-10 anni la loro situazione fosse invariata. Quindi per il dottore è importante questa sinergia fra trapianto e trattamento. Se non si può o il paziente non vuole seguire un trattamento farmacologico, il dottore adotta una strategia, diciamo, prudente per far sì che nel corso degli anni, se necessario, il paziente possa eventualmente reintervenire. Per gestire quelle che sono le aspettative del paziente, il dottore può mostrare a una galleria di moltissimi casi trattati, quindi può inviare al paziente dei casi simili in modo tale che il paziente possa avere delle aspettative realistiche di quello che potrebbe essere il suo risultato. Okay, let's go. So, in your clinic, you use BHT. What are your considerations on this? Is a valid option for everybody, for all the patients?
We have been performing BHT, body hair transplantation, at our clinic for many years, but it has been commonly applied for around 40 years. We have thousands of patient results about BHD extractions. I think there may not be any other clinic that has treated so many patients in this way. A satisfaction rate of our results with BHD has dramatically increased over the past 2 years. This is because we are able to carry out a handling of body hair with much more precision and perfection. Perfection. Once. Any problem? No. As satisfaction rate of our patient has dramatically increased over the past 2 years with more precision and perfection. We generally perform body hair transplantation when the patients require more than 4,000 grafts. Sometimes we can implant up to 5,000 grafts in one session, you know. If the patient requires more than 4,000 grafts, we usually use body hair transplant and BHD. For example, we are carrying out an operation plan with 4,000 grafts. We take 3,600 grafts from the classical donor area, and 400 grafts is coming from body sides, especially from the beard. If the required number of grafts is lower than 3,500 grafts, we don't perform BHD for the first session. But there are some special circumstances, you know. To set an example, the patient, over the 40 years old, and he has narrow problematic area on the frontal area, but he has a weak donor pattern, not sufficient for the second session, for example. But he's 42 years old and only frontal pattern, very narrow area. And I estimated 3,200 grafts only, but because really very weak and risky. In such cases, we take 2,800 grafts, for example, from the back of the head, side and back of the head, and we extract around 400 grafts from the beard area. But as I said, this is not a regular operation plan. Sometimes we carry out such a plan. We perform BHD when the patient requires more than 4,000 grafts. BHD aims to preserve the donor in a maximum way and to increase the number of grafts that can be transplanted. However, it's important to not create an unnatural looking appearance. How we will be distributing the body hair for the operation plan is essential to not create unnatural appearance. We use body hair in the central and the top crown area in the middle scalp region. We transplant body hair focusing on the mid-sections of the scalp. Hair extracted from the body cannot be transplanted in large groups of hair follicles. They have to be mixed. They have to be blended with the hair follicles coming from classical donor area, back of the head. For example, one case, 4,200 grafts. We have 3,600 grafts from the back of the head and 600 grafts from the beard area. At the first session, especially, we use beard hair. We implant that we start from here, and we implant till here, for example. We implant on the first part 2,000 grafts only from the back of the head, and we have 2,200 more grafts, and 600 of them from the beard. We blend them, but we implant the beard hair not on the side area. We implant on the middle region, on the spot, mixing with back of the head, the hair extracted from the back of the head. When we conduct such a precise arrangements, even if the hair is cut very short, it's not possible to understand which hair is the beard hair among the whole transplanted hair. It's impossible. We have many results, and I see them every day in person when they come for the control or for the second session. Every day we obtain feedbacks from our former patients, and we carry out our operation planning based on these reliable feedbacks. When splitting of body hair, we generally offer to hair extracted from the beard area. We are able to use chest hair as a third donor source if the patient has suitable chest hair. Usually chest hair can be used for the second session on the top crown area, not on frontal part. And of course, in some conditions, the chest hair, if it's suitable, can be considered as another option instead of beard hair at the first session even. Beard hair generally contains single hair grafts, but as a thickness of the hair shaft is higher than in diameters, and it perfectly blends with the hair extracted from the back of the head. We can clearly see this from the patient, from the result from our patients. We and our patients are happy and satisfied with the results, and no complaints whatsoever. The only handicap for the beard hair may be about the color differences or its growth rate. Patients who have gray hair, beard part generally have a higher ratio of gray hair. But as just previously mentioned, beard hair constitutes the lesser amount of total grafts, and it perfectly is mixed with backhead hair. That's why this mixture doesn't create any kind of significant color change. I don't have any concern, I don't have any problem about it, and I don't experience that in the written day. The patients who like to wear their hair very short, the growth rate of the beard doesn't cause any problem. But the patients who like to wear the hair long, beard hair will synchronize with other backhead hair, of course, few months later, and come to the same length in of the hair extracted from the back. Beard hair can get longer, up to 15-20 centimeters, and it takes a longer time, but after a few months they will be synchronized. The beard extraction is very safe. No marks, leaves on the beard hair. Of course, we don't touch the face. We take the grafts, necessary grafts under the chin. No marks left after the operation. Recovery period very fast. In around 10 days, no one will notice any mark within the beard area.
Okay, thank you very much. Very precise answer. I'm gonna translate quickly again. Allora, ho chiesto al dottore cosa ne pensi dell'uso dei peli del corpo per il trapianto dei capelli, in special modo per quanto riguarda l'uso dei peli della barba. Il dottore mi ha spiegato che da oltre 14 anni eseguono questo tipo di intervento, hanno moltissimi casi, forse sono la clinica al mondo con più esperienza riguardo al BHT. Mi ha detto che negli ultimi 2 anni è aumentata significativamente la soddisfazione dei clienti riguardo a questo tipo di intervento. Solitamente usano il body hair transplant quando devono innestare in una sessione più di 4.000 unità follicolari e quindi in quel caso tutto quanto in questo le 4.000 unità verrà innestato dalla barba. In alcuni casi, quando il paziente ha un'area donante povera, si può usare un mix fra capelli provenienti dall'area donante e peli della barba. Per esempio, se è un'area ristretta e il paziente ha più di 40 anni, possono usare 2.800 unità dallo scalpo e 400 dalla barba. Quello che è importante usando il DHT è non utilizzarlo nei primi millimetri di hairline. Solitamente, soprattutto i peli della barba, vengono utilizzati nella sezione del mid-scalp, dove si integrano perfettamente con i capelli indigeni preesistenti. Solitamente per l'uso del trapianto di capelli si utilizzano i peli della barba nella zona sotto il mento. In secondo luogo, se possibile, se il paziente ha un'area un po' povera, si può utilizzare i peli del petto. Gli unici problemi che si potrebbero avere sono quelli riguardanti la differenza di colore, però per il fatto che fra barba e capelli, ma per il fatto che vengono spesso utilizzati nel crown o in una seconda sessione, questo non è un problema significativo, secondo il dottore. Mi ha spiegato come i peli della barba sincronizzino la loro ricrescita dopo alcuni mesi con i capelli in modo tale da integrarsi in modo simile e i tempi di recupero sono piuttosto rapidi, quindi una decina di giorni non ci sono segni visibili e non si lasciano cicatrici nella zona di prelievo. Ok, let's go with another question. Okay, that's an important one. Some doctor claims that hair transplant results are permanent, while others claim that they are not. What's your opinion on that?
Okay, this is a very, very hard question. And a little bit complicated. First of all, I understand right away. I understand your question. But first of all, I would like to explain something about the success rate of operation. Success rate of operation. I would like to say something about the criterion about the successful operation. From my point of view, there are some specific criterion for the successful hair transplant. The first criteria is to preserve the donor area, especially the back of the side of the head. We shouldn't damage these donor areas. And patients should be able to wear the hair very short, even if he has undergone 2 sessions. After extracting from the beard area, there should not be any noticeable mark in this area. Second criterion is to create proper hairline design. And third criterion is achieve optimum hair density, designing transplant area correctly. Fourth criterion is to achieve an homogeneous and balanced hair image within the transplanted area and a balanced look with the neighbor native hair, of course. There shouldn't be any noticeable contrast between the transplant and the native existing hair. The fifth one is to follow the direction and angle of the native hair. And the sixth one to arrange a distribution of single and multiple grafts correctly. One of the most important criteria is to ensure healthy growth of the transplanted hair. I think I'm getting closer to your questions. A successful hair transplant procedure can be only achieved if the extraction, recipient area creation, and transplantation process are carried out correctly. All these factors depends on the capabilities of the clinic. There are the guidelines I have just listed directly related to the knowledge and experience of the clinic. There are some questions about the first process. It's extraction process. I believe that it will be better to explain some information on the extraction process of the hair follicles. I start to answer your question in this way. There are two techniques for extracting of hair follicles from the donor area: micromotor and manual. We started to perform FUE technique BOLA in 2007. I said before, 13 years ago. Of course, this is a very big advantage for Turkish clinics. And that time, there was no motorized method for extraction. There was not micromotor device at that time. We started to perform FUE in 2007 using manual punch. As a dermatologist, I'm a dermatologist, you know, as a dermatologist, for many years in my former hospital, Serkan Hospital, I used manual punch for diagnosis and treatment of various skin diseases. As the micromotor device came to the market in 2009, 2 years later. For these 2 years, we used only manual punch. And then we started to use both devices at the same time, during the same session. During this period, and we were able to increase the amount of grafts to be transplanted. And also, we improved our skills on using the micromotor. Additionally, this period gave us this opportunity to compare the grafts extracted using manual punch versus a micromotor. We compared the quality of the grafts and evaluated the patient's results. This should be very well understood, Bola. This is very, very important, especially a person for me. It should be very well understood. These things I'm explaining don't involve any commercial concern. They are clearly based on the work ethics of a devoted clinic as well as patient satisfaction. In conclusion, whether you use manual punch or micromotor, the grafts extracted from the donor part should be intact, healthy, and not damaged. In both ways, whether you use. When applied correctly, both devices will deliver healthy grafts. I'm sure about it. And the clinic, of course, decides which device is the best to use and then implement the method through the guidance of its own notion, own knowledge, experience, and vision.
Sorry, I think it's gonna finish because we passed 1 hour. So I'm gonna call you again. Thank you.
I'm sorry for taking your time. I'm so sorry.
No, that's perfect. It's good that you explain everything very clearly. So,
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Please go ahead. So you were explaining that manual and
okay. And with the clinic, we decide which device is the best, and then implements of the method through the guidance on its own notion, knowledge, experience, and vision. For a devoted clinic, the price of the operation will not be related with extraction methods. Associating price with the graft's quality and the success of the operation cannot be a matter of discussion for a devoted clinic. The only things that matters is the result of the patient, not the price. Price is only a commercial policy of the clinic. That's all. In summary, a clinic is responsible for the correct implementation of extraction, recipient area creation, and transplantation process. A clinic can achieve and performing these stages correctly. Thus far, I explained the relation of the hair transplant results and the responsibilities as well as initiative of clinic. Which factors are determined by patients in terms of maintaining large and the long-lasting results? I think now I'm going to start to answer your questions as far as I understand your question. After the hair transplant, some growth factors surrounding hair follicles are stimulated. This stimulating effect of growth factors around the follicles lasts 1 year or more. During this period, transplanted hair may grow longer and look thicker than expected. This extra stimulating effect returns back to normal within a year or maximum 2 years. But all patients don't experience that clearly, apparently. Some patients may experience this extra stimulating effect apparently. After this extra stimulation period, patients may experience slight thinning in their transplanted area. This is expected outcome for us, but sometimes, of course, patients are not happy with this condition, with this thinning of curves. But we expect this condition, and we know this technical explanation for that. Thanks God, only a small percentage of the patient who underwent FUA or DHI experienced that. Very, very small fraction, very small percentage. And prior to operation or during the operation, we cannot predict which patients experience that. It doesn't imply that the results are not permanent. The permanent, I think, hair transplantation results are permanent when this operation is carried out properly, correctly. But as I said, this is very important. Some patients experience, some patients sending photos, some patients calling us, and they said, and after the operation, during 1 year, 1.5 years, I had a bit thicker hair, and then my hair get a little bit thinner, but it's expected. But I need to say that it's very, very important. Very, very small percentage of patients experience that. In such cases, this extra stimulating effect of the growth factors apparent more than others. After some time, this extra effect gets normal, return back to normal, and patients' hair conditions get the condition we expect. To minimize this risk, we highly recommend patients to start medical therapy after the operation. Some of these therapies, oral finasteride, oral dutasteride, topical growth factor applications, and mesotherapy containing finasteride, dutasteride, PRP, low-level laser therapy. If the patient can have such treatments after the operation, they minimize this risk. And of course, they may have long-lasting, permanent, good hair quality. Aside from this, as a normal part of aging process, within years, patients may experience a reduction in the hair shaft diameter within the donor area. And transplant hair may also appear thinner over the time by aging. But I don't have any other explanation about your question.
Okay, thank you very much for your clear and precise explanation. Ho chiesto al dottor Serkan se secondo lui i risultati del trapianto di capelli sono permanenti. Il dottore mi ha prima spiegato alcuni criteri che loro adottano per effettuare un trapianto di capelli di successo, che è preservare l'area donante, mantenere un corretto disegno dell'hairline, cercare di dare la massima densità al paziente, seguire gli angoli e le direzioni dei capelli e distribuire correttamente le unità singole e doppie. Il dottore mi ha spiegato come all'inizio loro usassero il punch manuale nel 2007 perché non c'era il micromotore e come nel 2009 avevano iniziato a utilizzare il micromotore. Perché questo è importante? Perché è la fase di estrazione quella importante. Secondo il dottore non ci sono particolari differenze al riguardo e quale può essere il motivo per cui certi pazienti dopo un paio d'anni o così via pensano di perdere un po' di densità o hanno una riduzione nel numero dei capelli trapiantati. Il fatto è che dopo l'intervento, secondo il dottore, nel primo anno si sviluppano dei fattori di crescita che fanno sì che i capelli trapiantati siano stimolati e quindi abbiano un effetto sulla ricrescita più forte e i capelli siano più densi. Purtroppo in alcuni pazienti, quindi in una certa percentuale bassa di pazienti, questo effetto dei fattori di crescita diminuisce e sparisce dopo il secondo anno, quindi il paziente può notare quella che è una leggera diminuzione di densità dei capelli trapiantati e molte volte può credere che questo sia legato alla caduta degli stessi, mentre in realtà è solo una diminuzione del calibro. Per minimizzare questo effetto, quindi la perdita di qualità e di calibro, quello che si può fare è seguire una terapia farmacologica, secondo il dottore, ce ne sono di diverse, finasteride, dutasteride, mesoterapia con finasteride, PRP, laser, terapia laser. Tutte queste terapie possono minimizzare questo rischio. Quindi, secondo il dottore, i capelli trapiantati sono permanenti, si può avere solo una riduzione di qualità che può essere anche legata al processo normale di invecchiamento, così come quando si invecchia si perde qualità e calibro nell'area donatrice, lo stesso può avvenire con l'invecchiamento per i capelli in area ricevente. Okay, doctor. So, why should a patient choose Dr. Serkan Aygin for his hair transplant surgery? And if you want to send a message to your former and your future Italian patients.
Okay. Why do they choose us? We have accumulated a great amount of experience until now, and I'm really proud of this. We are still seeing an increasing demand over the passing years. I think it's not possible for a clinic that don't have the capability of improving themselves. We will keep on progressing, and we are a great team who has worked together for a long time. We take our job seriously, and we are never satisfied, Paula. We are never satisfied in obtaining any second best results. We are not satisfied with it. We should achieve the best, of course, always best results. We always work hard, the best result and the patient satisfaction. We are facing strong competition, but we are very confident in ourselves. We have great post-operative care services in Italy and in many other countries. Patients can easily reach out to our patient representatives who speaks their own language. After they return back to Italy, they never feel alone, never. Every year we organize some events in many different countries, especially in Italy. It's an opportunity to communicate with former patients in person. And I love Italy so much, like many people in this world. And Italy is my second homeland. Maybe one day I will. I hope. Okay. With all my heart, I wish our dear patients in Italy and in other European countries health and peace during these hard days, during this pandemic. We miss you so much and can't wait to see you again. In Italian, what can I say? Ci vediamo presto at Istanbul.
Wow, perfect, doctor. Your Italian is very good, so next time we will do the interview in Italian, and I don't have to translate everything.
Okay.
So, let me translate the last part. So, ho chiesto al dottore perché un paziente dovrebbe scegliere la clinica del dottor Serkan per il suo trapianto di capelli, e il dottore ha detto che una prima cosa di cui tenere conto è l'esperienza, il fatto che continuano a cercare di migliorarsi, non si accontentano mai, vogliono sempre ottenere il miglior risultato possibile per il paziente. Una cosa importante da sottolineare è anche la cura post-operatoria. Tutti i pazienti che si operano nella loro clinica, una volta ritornati in Italia nel loro paese di origine, vengono seguiti dai loro consulenti che parlano la loro lingua, quindi nessun paziente è mai abbandonato. Una volta all'anno più si organizzano degli eventi nei vari paesi, compresa l'Italia. Il dottore ha detto che l'Italia è nel suo cuore, che è il suo secondo paese, che magari un giorno vorrebbe andare a vivere in Italia, sarà il benvenuto, e spera di rivedervi tutti a Istanbul, e vi manda un augurio che tutti possiate superare con forza questa pandemia, e spera di rivedervi tutti a presto. Okay, I want to thank all the users that are online. I know you have a lot of questions, but we are a little bit short on time, so probably we will do another interview in the future with the doctor in Italian.
Not during the second pandemic, as soon as possible.
Before, maybe when it's finished. So,
yeah. Okay, so, thank you for tonight, for joining us. Thank you, Bola. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you very much for your time.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.